Hello everyone, it's Saturday the 23rd of May 2026 and a lot has come up at the allotment since I last spoke to you. It's very warm today. It's going to be a hot bank holiday weekend, so I'm going to have to be doing some watering. So far I put in carrots which are coming up. I've thinned them out and there's another row of carrots just coming up along there, which are multicoloured ones. Along this strip here I put in some dwarf French beans. Variety is called Slenderette, and they only get about sort of so high. Supposed to be heavy croppers, and I think one is just poking through the surface. The broad beans are really well up and looking good. They've got a bit of black fly, but not as much as some people's around here. They put them in earlier. The rocket salad has come on really well, but birds have been pecking it, so it doesn't look so good. Anyway, I'm not too worried about that. My mate Bob gave us some potatoes. He didn't tell me the variety, he didn't know. He just said plant them as earlies and dig them up in July or August, something like that. So they're just coming through. They were planted about 2 weeks ago. The sun's so bright, it's a bit shadowy around here at the moment. Strawberries are coming up really well, and they're actually fruiting. So it looks like I'm in for a good crop of those. Not sure how I'm going to protect them yet, or if I'm going to need to. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. The turf path I laid has taken really well, and you can hardly see any lines where I've laid the turfs, so it's becoming nice and uniform now. Spring onions that I found already on the site are doing quite good. Some of them are a little bit thin. Now the chard, that is doing excellent, and it's pretty much ready for picking. Apparently you're supposed to pick the lower leaves off instead of the newest ones, so it gives the new ones a chance to grow a bit more. So I might have some of those for dinner this weekend. The ruby Swiss chard is also doing well. It's pretty much the same height. I did have a bit of a setback. One evening I was chatting with the site manager, and she noticed the seedlings coming up and said, "Is that beetroot?" And I said, "No, it's Swiss chard." And she said, "Oh, because if you've got beetroot, the birds will peck it." But anyway, the next day after work I came down and half the row was pecked out, and the seedlings with the roots intact just left on the surface. So I guess a bird has come down, thought they were beetroot, found out they were not, and flew off. Anyway, I popped them back in and they are coming up without too much harm done. The other half of the row is absolutely fine. Interesting that they left the white chard completely alone, but I have put a net over them with some stakes just rammed into the ground, just to give them a bit more protection. The part I seeded looks absolutely beautiful. I've given it a mow today, the first mow. It's very lush and very tight, but I'm trying to keep off with it for the moment, just until the ground firms up a bit more, and I'll start to put an edge either side and cultivate that edge well, probably in the next couple of weeks or so. I've put in another row of chard. I've done a succession, so I get some a little bit later on in the year. They're just coming up, you can't see them. And along here, I managed to get, before we go about talking about along here, I managed to find a pot of chives at a plant stall and just pop those in. I haven't got any chives yet, and I do like those. Along this stretch here, I'm going to put some more garlic in, I think. I've got a clove there, a bulb rather. Just going to split the cloves up, put them in about 2 inches deep, 6 inches apart. They don't really take up much room, so they're quite good for edging. I did grow some tomatoes, and they were old seeds, so they haven't really done that well. 1 or 2 of them look alright, but I'm not hopeful for those. So what I'm thinking is I might get some squashes and put a couple of squashes in, trailing ones. Have one that end, can trail along, one the other end here, can trail along here. So that's just a thought at the moment. I found some sunflowers, quite a few, just popping up here and there on the site, and I've transplanted a few over to the wall bed. And I put a plastic bottle collar around them to hopefully stop slugs getting up, but something has been nibbling them. I've got to work out how I'm gonna stake them, because we're not supposed to put any fixings into the wall. So I've just put a couple of pieces of batten in there for now, and I'll think about that one. This one I hope does make it. It's got kind of yellow variegated leaves. I did look it up and couldn't find out the exact name of it, but it is definitely a variety, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that comes up like. The sweet peas are looking rubbish, so I bought another packet of seeds and put them in just to bulk them up a bit, and they're coming up. So they've been in the ground, they've germinated in the ground, whereas the others I germinated at home, which haven't done as well. So hopefully the ones in the ground will find their way up to the netting, and I hope won't have to tie them up. Got some basil coming up. I just sowed a little patch of basil there outside, and they're coming up. Got some at home indoors as well, so hopefully that should be good throughout the summer. Loads of ants around here. The problem with ants is that they make loads and loads of holes in the soil and aerate it, and I don't want them to disturb the roots of the plants. The Cara main crop potatoes have done absolutely brilliantly. They got a slight touch of frost at the beginning. We've had some cold weather recently, sort of down to about +1 to +4, and a lot of people's on the site have got burnt off a second time and even a third time. Some of them like right down to the ground, but mine are pretty much the best looking on the site at the moment. The people around here saying there's an area going through the middle of the allotments that gets the frost more than around the outside, so that's probably the problem. But anyway, I did cover these up with some sheet netting a couple of nights when it was really cold, but they're looking good. They're looking very healthy. I took some of these existing leeks out and just saved 3 of them and planted them in the middle so they can flower. Apparently the flowers are supposed to be quite pretty and hopefully give me some seeds. I've done a bit more seeding around here and made a bit of a curved edge to this bed, grass seed is coming up, but you can't see it though. And I've also seeded a few more patches here and there, just to make the site look a bit more uniform green and cared for. I hate plastic sheeting like what they've got over there, it's horrible. The raspberries are doing wonderfully. They flowered, or they're just going over and producing fruits. Tons and tons of bees around them. So I'm looking forward to those ripening. Got a foxglove just coming into flower down here from the lady next door who popped it in for me. I've done a bit of work on the raspberry, what would you call it? The raspberry stakes. I've added some additional bits of batten, which I bought, and I planted some sunflowers, some tall ones, giant sunflowers. You can just see there. Again, I've put a plastic collar around them, and they'll grow up, hopefully. It's quite tall, it's about 13 foot. I've also planted some beans. I've got some runner beans, and I've got some hyacinth beans, which are quite unusual ones. They were in the bunch of seeds that VJ gave me. They are just coming through, but they've taken such a long time. Apparently they're supposed to be quite ornamental looking flower wise. I found this plant down here. I don't know what it is. I thought it was flat leaf parsley, but it's got no scent to the leaves or anything like that, so I'm just going to let it grow in the pot and see what it turns out like. I've also sprinkled a few different herb seeds in there, like chives and thyme. I think I might put some marjoram in there. Do you remember I said I made a bee house by drilling some holes in the raspberry stakes? Well, it was less than a week and the mason bees started getting in there. I don't know if you can see that hole there, it's just blocked up. And one day I came down and found the holes completely gnawed out by something. I don't know whether a squirrel or rats got up there and tried to get at the cells. But anyway, some more have moved in and blocked up the entrance to the holes. So we've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 so far. At the other end, the holes I've drilled, I've covered up because I found out that leafcutter bees are abroad about mid-June to August. So I've covered those up, and I'll take that piece of featherboard off about mid-June, and hopefully we'll get some leafcutter bees in there. The few potatoes I put in the dustbin have actually come up. I didn't think they would, but I got quite surprised. So I've earthed them up a couple of times so far, and I'll probably do another 1 or 2 just to get the level up round here somewhere. But they're looking quite good. I'm not sure how many I'll get from the 3 that I put in, but I'm guessing the best way to get them out is just to tip the whole bucket up, the bin up, and get them out that way, and just store them in the fridge at home.